Hey there, welcome in. Go ahead and get comfortable because you've officially arrived at the part of your day where you don't have to do anything at all. No tasks, no scrolling, no problems to solve. Just this, just you, settling in, letting the world get a little quieter around you. Take a slow breath in through your nose if you feel like it, and let it drift back out. There's no rush here. We've got all the time in the world. And honestly, that's kind of the whole point. Tonight isn't about getting anywhere. It's about slowly, gently coming to a stop. So let me tell you what we're doing here. This is a soft little corner of the internet where we talk about the human mind, the strange, tender, fascinating things about how your brain works, how your feelings work, why people do the things they do. And we talk about all of it in the calmest, sleepiest way possible. No loud voices, no dramatic music swelling up out of nowhere, no cliffhangers designed to keep you wired and awake. That's the opposite of what we're about. The whole idea is to hand your mind something warm and interesting to hold on to. Something just engaging enough to pull you away from your worries, but soft enough that it never once tugs you back toward being alert. We're here to help you drift, one sleepy soul at a time. That's our little promise, by the way. One sleepy soul at a time. Because that's really how it works, isn't it? Nobody falls asleep in a crowd, all at once, on command. Sleep is a quiet, private thing. It happens to one person, in one bed, in one dark room, slowly letting go. And tonight, that person is you. So we're not trying to reach the whole world. We're just here for you, right now, helping you find your way down into rest, one gentle minute after another. Now, before we sink in any deeper, let me say one small thing, and I'll keep it soft, I promise. If these calm little journeys through the mind help you drift off, if you find yourself waking up in the morning realizing you never even heard the end, then it would mean the world if you tap that like button and maybe subscribe so we can keep making these together. That's it. That's the only thing I'll ask of you all night. You can even do it later, half asleep, whenever it feels easy. No pressure at all. Just know that every like, every quiet little subscribe helps this cozy corner grow, so more tired minds can find their way here and rest a little easier too. And now that that's out of the way, we don't have to think about it again. We can just relax. So let's talk about why we're here. Why psychology, of all things, to fall asleep to? Well, here's the thing. There's something deeply soothing about understanding yourself, about realizing that so many of the things you feel, the little quirks of your mind, the odd habits, the way your thoughts wander, they're not strange at all. They're human. They're shared by billions of people who've ever lived. And there's a real comfort in that. When you learn a small, gentle truth about how the mind works, it can feel like someone reaching over in the dark and saying, "Hey, it's okay. You make sense. You were never broken. You're just a person. And being a person is a curious, beautiful thing." That's the feeling I want to give you tonight. Not the sharp, exciting kind of learning that lights up your brain and keeps you buzzing. The other kind. The slow kind. The kind where a little idea settles over you like a warm blanket, and you turn it over lazily in your mind. And before you even finish thinking about it, you've already started to drift. Because your mind, right now, is winding down, Whether you notice it or not, your body is already beginning the long, gentle slide towards sleep. Your breathing is slowing. Your muscles are getting heavier, sinking just a little deeper into wherever you're lying. The temperature of your body is dropping, just slightly, the way it always does when sleep is on its way. All of this is happening on its own, quietly, without you having to lift a finger. Your body knows exactly how to do this. It's done it every single night of your life. All you have to do is let it. And that's genuinely all I want from you tonight. Just let go. Let the day be over. Whatever happened today, the good, the annoying, the unfinished, the things you meant to do and didn't, it's all done now. You can set it down. It'll still be there in the morning if it needs you, and most of it won't. Most of it will have quietly sorted itself out, or shrunk down to something much smaller than it felt. That's another little truth about the mind, actually. So many of the things that feel enormous at night look almost gentle in the morning light. The dark has a way of making worries grow, but you don't have to carry any of that right now. Let me paint the scene a little, just to help you settle. Imagine your thoughts as the surface of a lake at the very end of the day. All day long, that lake has been churned up, boats crossing it, wind stirring it, ripples running into other ripples until the whole surface is restless and rough. That's what a busy mind feels like. But now the boats have gone home, the wind has died down, and slowly, all on its own, the water starts to go still. The ripples get smaller and smaller, and eventually the surface turns to glass, smooth, calm, perfectly quiet, reflecting the last soft light of the sky. That's where we're heading tonight. That's stillness. And you don't have to force it. You just have to stop stirring the water, and it settles all by itself. I'll be here the whole time, talking softly, sharing these little facts and stories about the mind. You don't have to follow along closely. You don't have to remember any of it. In fact, I'd rather you didn't try. Let the words wash over you the way you'd let the sound of rain on a window wash over you, or waves rolling in and out on a beach somewhere far away. My voice is just here to be a soft, steady presence in the room with you, something warm in the background, so your mind has a gentle place to rest instead of running off into tomorrow. If you catch a fact here and there, wonderful. If it all blurs into a pleasant hum and you drift off before I've barely begun, that's even better. That means it's working. Here's a small thing to know about the way we'll do this. I'm going to keep my voice low and even the whole way through. I'm not going to suddenly get loud or excited. There won't be any big surprises. The pace will stay slow, maybe even a little slower than feels normal, because that's part of the magic. When you hear someone speaking slowly and calmly, your own body tends to follow along. Your heart rate drifts down to match. Your breathing stretches out. It's a real thing. We're wired to sync up with the rhythm of a calm voice, the same way a baby settles when it hears a soft lullaby. So even if you're not really listening to the words, some quiet part of you is following the rhythm. And that rhythm is telling you, over and over, that it's safe now. It's okay to let go. It's time to rest. And rest is exactly what you deserve. You made it through another day. That's not nothing. No matter how the day went, you carried yourself through all of it. Every conversation, every small decision, every little bit of effort it takes just to be a person in the world. That takes more energy than we ever give ourselves credit for. So right now, in this moment, there's nothing left to prove and nothing left to do. You've earned this. You've earned the right to just lie here and be soft and let the day dissolve behind you. Let's take one more slow breath together before we really begin. Breathe in gently. Feel your chest and belly rise, and let it go, slow and easy, like a sigh at the end of a long day. Notice how, just for that one breath, everything got a little quieter. You can come back to that anytime tonight. Anytime your thoughts start to wander somewhere restless, just find your breath again, slow and soft, and let it carry you back down. Feel the weight of your body now. Feel how the bed or the couch or wherever you are is holding you up completely. You don't have to hold yourself at all. The surface beneath you is doing all the work, cradling you, taking all your weight so your muscles can finally, fully let go. Start to notice how heavy your arms feel, your legs, your shoulders sinking down, away from your ears. Even the little muscles in your face can soften. Your forehead, your jaw, the space between your eyebrows. Let all of it go loose and easy. Over the next little while, we're going to wander gently through some of the most soothing, tender, quietly wonderful things about the human mind. Little facts about why we dream, and what memory really is, and why kindness feels so good, and why a familiar voice can calm us down, and all sorts of soft curiosities like that. None of it is anything you need to study. It's more like a slow walk through a peaceful garden, where I point out a lovely little thing here, and another one there, and we don't hurry past any of it, and we don't need to reach the end. The walk itself is the whole point. And if you fall asleep somewhere along the path, well, that just means the garden did its job. So there's nothing more for you to do now except be here, be comfortable, and let yourself begin to drift. Keep your eyes closed if they're not already. Let the darkness behind your eyelids feel soft and welcoming, like a warm room you're finally allowed to rest in. Let my voice be the last gentle thread connecting you to the waking world, and feel free to let go of it whenever you like. We'll take this slow. We'll take it easy. There's absolutely no hurry to get anywhere. Just breathe and sink and settle, and let the quiet grow around you. In a moment, we'll drift into the first of our little bedtime truths about the mind. Something soft to hold, something to carry you gently downward. But for now, just rest here with me. Let the stillness settle in. Let the day fade, and let yourself begin, slowly and sweetly, to fall asleep. One sleepy soul at a time. So let's begin our little walk, right here, with something soft. Here's the first gentle truth to hold tonight. Your brain, right now, even as it's slowing down and getting sleepy, is quietly one of the busiest, most caring things in the entire natural world. And I mean that in the kindest way. While you drift here, doing absolutely nothing, some part of you is still keeping your heart beating, still filling your lungs, still holding the temperature of your whole body somewhere around 37 degrees, without you ever having to think about it once. Isn't that a lovely thing to notice? You don't have to manage any of it. It's all taken care of. You've been carried this whole time by a quiet inner tide that never asks anything from you. So you can let that thought settle over you like a warm blanket. Even in sleep, you are looked after. Even in sleep, something within you keeps you safe. Now, here's something soft and true about the way you're breathing right now. When you slow your breath down, the way we did a moment ago, you're actually sending a little message deep into the oldest part of your nervous system. There's a long, wandering nerve inside you. It drifts down from the base of your brain, past your heart, all the way into your belly. And when your breath goes slow and easy, that nerve gently whispers to the rest of you, everything is okay. You can rest now. It's the same signal your body has trusted for hundreds of thousands of years, long before words, long before any of the busy noise of the modern world. This was how your ancestors told their own bodies they were safe by the fire. And it still works, exactly the same tonight. Every slow breath you take is an old lullaby your body already knows by heart. So there's nothing to learn here. You already have it. You've always had it. Let that sink in for a moment. Just breathe, slow and soft, and let your body remember something it's known all along. Here's another tender little thing. You know how, sometimes, right as you're falling asleep, your mind starts to soften at the edges, and thoughts stop making quite so much sense. A memory blurs into a feeling drifts into an image, and none of it needs to line up neatly anymore? That in-between place actually has a name. People who study the mind call it the hypnagogic state. But you don't need to remember that, and I only mention it because I think it's rather beautiful that we gave a name to something so gentle. It's that hazy little doorway between waking and sleeping, where the mind loosens its grip and starts to wander on its own. Painters and inventors and poets have loved that doorway for centuries. Some of them would sit in a chair on purpose, right at the edge of sleep, just to see what soft, strange little images would float up. And here's the loveliest part. You're standing in that very doorway right now, or you will be soon. That drifting, melty feeling isn't something going wrong. It's your mind doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's the beginning of rest. So when your thoughts start to slip and slide and stop making sense, don't chase them and don't try to tidy them up. Just let them wander. That's the door opening. That's you, gently on your way. And speaking of dreams, let's wander toward those for a moment, since they're waiting for you a little further down this path. Here's a soft truth about dreaming that I've always found comforting. Nearly every single person on this planet dreams every single night, whether they remember it or not. All around the world, right now, as you're lying here, countless other people are drifting off just like you, and their minds are about to fill with color and story and feeling. It's one of the most universal things we do as human beings. It doesn't matter where someone lives, or what language they speak, or how their life has gone. When the lights go out and sleep takes over, we all slip into this same quiet, private theater of the mind. There's something so gently connecting about that, isn't there? All of us, everywhere, dreaming in the dark. You're not doing this alone tonight. In a sense, you never are. You're part of an enormous, sleepy, invisible company of dreamers, stretching all the way around the world and all the way back through time. Every person who has ever lived has closed their eyes and dreamed. And tonight, you get to join them. Nobody knows for certain why we dream, and I actually love that about it. In a world that seems to have an answer for everything, dreams have stayed a little bit mysterious, a little bit ours. But the gentlest idea, the one I like to hold on to, is that dreaming might be the mind's way of quietly sorting through the day, tucking away the things that matter, softening the sharp edges of whatever happened, filing the little worries into drawers where they can't reach you. Some researchers think that when you dream, your brain is basically going through the day's memories, deciding what to keep and what to let gently fade, weaving it all into the larger story of who you are. So even your dreams tonight will be a kind of tenderness, your own mind taking care of you, making sense of things so you don't have to. You can hand the whole day over to that process now. Let your sleeping mind do the sorting. You've done enough. It's got the rest from here. Isn't it nice to think that even while you sleep, you're being gently put back together? Let's slow down here for another breath. Breathe in, soft and slow, and let it go. Feel yourself sink just a little deeper into the surface beneath you. A little heavier, a little warmer. There's no rush to move on. We've got all night. Now here's a warm little fact about memory. Since we've wandered near it, the memories that stay with you the longest, the ones that feel the most vivid years later, tend to be the ones wrapped in feeling. Not the ordinary Tuesday afternoons, but the moments when your heart was full. A kindness someone showed you. A place that felt like home. The sound of laughter around a table. Emotion is like a soft golden thread that memory uses to hold on to things. That's why you can probably still remember in surprising detail a moment when you felt truly loved or truly safe, even if it happened long ago. Your mind decided that mattered. Your mind wrapped it in warmth and kept it. So somewhere inside you right now, held gently in the dark, are all the softest moments of your whole life. Every hug, every comfort, every time someone looked at you like you were worth looking at. They're all still in there, and you carry them with you everywhere, even into sleep. You're never as far from those warm moments as you might think. They're only ever a quiet thought away. Maybe, as you're drifting, one of those little memories will float up on its own. A gentle one, a safe one. If it does, you don't have to do anything with it. Just let it be there with you, like an old friend sitting quietly at your bedside while you fall asleep. Here's another one, and this one's about kindness, because I did promise you kindness earlier. When you do something kind for another person, even something tiny, like holding a door or saying a warm word to someone who needed it, your brain releases a little wave of the very same chemicals that make you feel calm and connected and safe. It's almost as if your mind is built to reward you for gentleness. As if, deep down, in the very wiring of you, you were designed to feel good when you take care of each other. And here's the part I find so tender. It works the same way when kindness comes toward you. When someone is soft with you, when someone looks after you, that same quiet warmth washes through you and settles your whole system down. Being cared for and caring for others speak the exact same language inside the body. It's the language of safety. So all those small kindnesses you've given and received across your whole life, they weren't small at all. Each one was a little pulse of calm, moving between people, making the world a slightly softer place to be. And tonight, letting yourself rest, letting yourself be looked after by nothing more than a quiet voice in the dark. That's a kindness too, a kindness to yourself. Let yourself receive it. You deserve that, you know? to be on the receiving end of something gentle, to let yourself be cared for without earning it first. Just for tonight, let that be true. Now, let me tell you something lovely about the human voice, since you're listening to one right now. From the very beginning of your life, long before you understood a single word, you understood the feeling of a voice. A newborn baby can't follow language at all, but it can feel the warmth in a soft, low tone. It can sense calm, or comfort, or love, carried on nothing but sound. That understanding never leaves us. It stays with you your entire life. It's why a gentle voice can still settle your nerves when nothing else will. It's why hearing someone speak softly and slowly, with no urgency at all, can make your shoulders drop and your breathing slow, almost against your will. Some part of you is always listening for that old, wordless message. You're safe. You're not alone. Everything is okay. And that's the part of you I'm speaking to right now. Not the busy, thinking part. The older, softer part. Underneath all of that. The part that just wants to be reassured. So let my voice do that for you. You don't have to follow every word. You don't have to hold on to the meaning at all. You can let the words themselves blur and soften, and just keep the feeling underneath. Slow, warm, safe, unhurried. Like a hand resting gently on your back. Like someone humming quietly in the next room while you drift off. Let's take another slow breath together, right here. In, nice and easy, and out, long and soft. Feel how each breath leaves you just a little more relaxed than the one before. There's a rhythm to it now, isn't there? A slow, easy rhythm, like waves reaching a shore and pulling gently back. You don't have to make it happen. Just let it happen. Let it carry you. Here's another quiet marvel to rest with. Right now, as you lie here doing nothing at all, your mind is not empty. It's softly humming along in a state that researchers find endlessly fascinating. When you stop focusing on any particular task, when you let your attention go loose and unfocused, a whole gentle network inside your brain lights up. It's the part of you that daydreams, that wanders, that quietly reflects on your life when nothing else is pulling at your attention. For a long time, people assumed the resting brain was basically idle, switched off, doing nothing much at all. But it turns out that some of the most important, most healing work your mind does happens exactly in these unfocused, drifting, in-between moments. The times when you let yourself do nothing are not wasted at all. They're when you gently digest your life, when you make quiet sense of things, when you let the deeper parts of you catch up. So this, right now, you lying here, letting your thoughts drift wherever they like. This is not lazy, and it's not nothing. This is your mind doing something it truly needs. You're giving yourself a gift most people forget to give themselves. The simple, healing gift of rest. Let that permission settle over you. There is nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you should be doing. Lying here, drifting, softening. This is exactly the right thing. This is enough. You are enough, precisely as you are in this quiet moment, doing nothing but breathing in the dark. Feel your body again for a moment. Notice how much heavier it's gotten since we started. Your arms, resting wherever they've settled, feel warm and loose and far away. Your legs feel weighted, sinking down into the surface beneath you. Your whole body is being held, completely, and you don't have to lift a single finger. Let your jaw go slack. Let your tongue rest soft in your mouth. Let the space between your eyebrows smooth itself out. There's nothing your face needs to express to anyone right now. No expression to hold. No one to be. Just let it all go loose. Let it all go quiet. We'll keep wandering through the garden in just a moment. There are so many more gentle little things I want to show you. Soft truths about how you calm down, and why familiar things comfort us, and the quiet ways your mind keeps you well. But there's no hurry to reach any of them. If you drift off before we get there, that's perfectly all right. That's the whole idea. For now, just keep breathing, slow and easy. Keep sinking, keep softening, and let yourself drift a little further down, one gentle breath at a time. Let me tell you about something gentle that's happening in you right now, without you having to do a thing. There's this quiet little truth psychologists have noticed for a long time, that the more familiar something is to us, the safer and warmer it tends to feel. They call it the comfort of the familiar, and it's woven into you at a level deeper than thought. It's why a song you've heard 100 times can wrap around you like a soft blanket. It's why your own bed, your own pillow, the particular way the light falls in a room you know well, all of it can settle your whole nervous system without a single word being spoken. Your mind is always quietly scanning the world, asking one soft question underneath everything else. Do I know this? Is this safe? And when the answer comes back, yes. Yes. I know this. I've been here before. Nothing here is going to surprise me. A kind of ease spreads through you. So even my voice, if you've been here with me before on other nights, might be starting to feel a little like that. A familiar sound in the dark. Something your mind has learned it can relax into. And that's a lovely thing, really. That we're built to find peace in the things we return to, again and again. The known, the gentle, the same soft place, night after night. Isn't that a kind and clever way to be made? Your brain treats familiarity as a form of safety. So every time you come back to something calming, it works just a little better than the time before. You're not just resting tonight. You're teaching your body, quietly, that this, the dark, the stillness, the low sound of a voice, the slow rise and fall of your own breath. This means it's time to let go. And bodies learn that lesson beautifully. Given the chance, they learn it again and again. Here's another soft one to rest with. You know how, when you're feeling something big and tangled, some worry, some ache you can't quite name, and then you finally put it into words, and something eases, just a little. There's real science underneath that feeling. Researchers have found that simply naming an emotion, just quietly labeling it, oh, that's worry, that's sadness, that's the tiredness talking, actually calms the more reactive, alarm-ringing part of your brain. You don't even have to fix the feeling. You don't have to solve anything or make it go away. Just noticing it, just gently giving it a name, seems to turn the volume down all on its own. It's as if the feeling only needed to be seen, only needed you to turn toward it for a moment and say, softly, I know you're there. I feel you. It's okay. And then, having been acknowledged, it loosens its grip. So if anything's been sitting on your chest tonight, you don't have to wrestle with it. You don't have to untangle every knot. You can just name it quietly in the dark. There you are. And then let it drift on past, the way a cloud drifts across a slow evening sky. Seen, gentle, already softening, already letting go of you as you let go of it. Let that settle in for a moment. There's nothing to fix right now, nothing to solve. Whatever you carried through the day, you're allowed to set it down here, at the edge of sleep, and trust that it'll still be manageable in the morning. Probably softer, probably smaller, the way things so often look after a night of rest. Now here's something I've always found so tender about the way we're built. Think about warmth for a moment. Real, physical warmth. A warm drink held in both hands. A patch of afternoon sun across your shoulders. A blanket pulled up snug. Your mind, it turns out, has a hard time keeping physical warmth and emotional warmth in separate rooms. They live very close together in you, so close that researchers have found people literally feel more trusting, more open, more kindly toward others when they're holding something warm. Physical warmth and the warmth of feeling cared for. Your brain treats them almost like the same thing. And that's why being tucked in feels the way it does. That's why the weight of a heavy blanket over your body can feel a little like being held. There's real comfort in that pressure, that gentle, even weight pressing softly down. It tells some old, wordless part of you that you're safe, that you're contained, that you're being looked after. So feel it now. If you have something soft and warm over you, feel how your body reads it, not just as heat, but as care, as safety, as a quiet arm around you in the dark. And if your feet are warm, if your shoulders are covered, let that warmth stand in for every kind word anyone's ever said to you. Let it hold you the way you deserve to be held. Let yourself sink a little further into that. There's no rush anywhere, just warmth and weight, and the slow, easy sound of a voice you're learning to trust. Here's a small marvel about your senses that I think you'll like. Of all the ways the world reaches you, everything you see, everything you hear, everything you touch, smell is the one wired most directly to memory and feeling. It skips all the usual careful sorting your brain does with everything else, and goes almost straight to the parts of you that hold emotion and old, deep memory. That's why a single faint scent can undo years in an instant. The smell of a particular kind of soap, or bread in an oven, or rain on warm stone, or the specific way a certain person's home once smelled. And suddenly, you're small again, somewhere safe, wrapped in a moment you thought you'd forgotten entirely. It arrives whole, all at once, feeling and all, before you've even had time to think. Nobody quite designed it that way on purpose. It's just an old, beautiful accident of how we're built. That the oldest, most tender parts of who we are can be reached through something as quiet as a scent on the air. So maybe, as you're lying here drifting, some soft, familiar smell will find you and carry you gently backward into some warm old moment. And if it does, just let it. Let it hold you there a while. Let the past be kind to you tonight. Feel how heavy and warm your body has become. Every part of you a little softer than it was a moment ago. There's nowhere to be, nothing to reach for, just this. Let me tell you about the quiet magic of a steady rhythm. Your whole body, deep down, loves a rhythm. It's been listening for one since before you were even born. Since the very first sound you ever knew was the slow, steady beat of a heart from the inside. That was your first lullaby. long before you had ears to understand it. And you never really lose that. It's why the slow lap of waves can empty your mind. It's why the patter of rain on a roof can pull you under so easily. It's why a train rocking gently along a track, or a low steady voice going on and on about nothing in particular, can make your eyes grow so heavy. Your nervous system hears a slow, predictable rhythm, and it thinks, "Ah, nothing sudden is coming, nothing to brace for. I can let go now." Predictability at this hour is a kind of tenderness. So let the rhythm of my voice do that for you. You don't need to follow the meaning of a single word. You don't need to remember any of it. Just let the sound rise and fall, like something slow and warm washing over you, again and again, asking nothing at all. Let the rhythm carry the thinking part of you off to sleep, one soft wave after another. And here's a companion to that, something you can carry into any night. There's a small, quiet thing your body does that soothes it from the inside. A low hum, a soft sigh, the long, slow letting out of a breath. When you gently lengthen the out breath, or let a low, soft sound live in your chest for a moment, you're brushing up against one of the calmest, most caring pathways in your whole body. A long, wandering nerve that helps carry the message deep into you that all is well, that you can stand down, that the day is done. It's part of why a long sigh feels so good. Part of why, after a hard day, your body sometimes just exhales, all on its own, without you deciding to. That's your body reaching for its own comfort, its own built-in way of saying, "Enough now, rest now." You've been carrying that gentle machinery inside you your entire life, always there, always ready, just waiting for you to slow down enough to let it work. And right now, in the dark, you're finally slow enough. So let your out-breaths grow just a touch longer than the breaths coming in. Not forcing anything, just letting each one leave you slowly, like a door easing shut on a quiet room. There we go. Nothing to do but let it happen. Your body knows the way from here. I want to tell you one more little thing before we wander on. It's about how kind your mind can be to you at exactly this hour if you let it. During the day, there's a part of your brain that stays a bit watchful, scanning for what might go wrong, holding on to worries, keeping a little edge of alertness humming in the background. It's not being cruel. It's an old protector, doing the only job it's ever known. But here's the gentle secret of nighttime. As you sink towards sleep, as your body warms and slows and settles, that watchful part naturally begins to loosen its grip. It gets sleepy too. It sets down its post, just for a while, and lets the softer, kinder parts of you come forward. That's why things you couldn't stop turning over at noon can feel so much lighter now. It's not that the worries were solved. It's that the part of you holding them so tightly is finally, gratefully, allowed to rest. So if any of that daytime watchfulness is still lingering in you, you can let it know, softly, without any argument, that it's off duty now. Nothing needs guarding tonight. Nothing needs solving in the dark. It did its job. It kept you going through another whole day. And now it too gets to lie down and let go. You're safe here. Nothing is being asked of you. The whole of you, even the busy, watchful part, is allowed, at last, to simply rest. Feel that permission spreading through you now, warm and slow. from the crown of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. Every part of you is being told, gently, that it's okay to let go. And every part of you is beginning, quietly, to believe it. There's such a deep relief in that, in finally being somewhere you don't have to hold anything up, or keep anything together, or be anything at all for anyone. You can just be a warm, breathing body in a quiet, dark room, doing the oldest and simplest thing living creatures have ever done. Sinking softly towards sleep, letting the world go on without you for a while, trusting that it'll all still be there, patient and waiting whenever you decide to come back. But not yet, not for a long while yet. For now there's only this, the slow breath, the warm weight, the low voice, and the deep, growing softness pulling you gently, gently down. Let me tell you something about the way your mind handles time when you're drifting off like this. During the day, time feels sharp and measured. You're always half aware of the next thing, the hour on the clock, the little countdown running quietly in the back of your thoughts. But here's the tender truth about sleep. As you sink toward it, that whole sense of measured time begins to soften and blur. The part of your brain that keeps such careful track of minutes and deadlines starts to power down, the way lights dim in a house when everyone's finally home for the night. And in its place comes something older and gentler, a kind of timelessness, where a moment can stretch long and wide, where you're not waiting for anything, not rushing toward anything. That's why the last few minutes before sleep can feel like floating in warm water with no edges. Time isn't pressing on you anymore. It's just letting you be. So if there's any part of you still quietly counting, still half watching for the next thing, you can let that go now too. There's nowhere to be, nothing to catch. The only appointment you have tonight is with rest, and you're already right on time. Here's a gentle little thing about your heart, and I mean that quite literally. Your heartbeat isn't a perfect mechanical tick, the way a clock is. It speeds up ever so slightly when you breathe in, and slows down again when you breathe out. That small, natural change is happening in you right now, softly, without you ever having to notice it. And scientists have found something lovely. The more relaxed and settled you are, the more gracefully your heart moves between those two rhythms. It's like a quiet dance between your breathing and your pulse, one leading, one following, back and forth all night long. When you're calm, that dance grows smooth and easy and wide. So in a way, every slow breath you take right now is an invitation to your own heart, a gentle cue that says, we can ease off now, we can slow down together. And your heart, that faithful thing that's been beating for you since before you were even born, here's the invitation and answers. Slowing, softening, settling, right along with you. I want to tell you about something that happens with the people we love, even when they're nowhere near us. Your mind carries the ones who matter to you around inside it, all the time, not just as memories, but as a kind of quiet presence, a felt sense of them, warm and steady, that your brain can call up almost like company. Researchers have noticed that simply thinking of someone who makes you feel safe can lower the tension in your body, soften your breathing, ease that low hum of stress, almost as much as if they were really there beside you. Isn't that a beautiful thing to be made of? It means you're never quite as alone as the dark might suggest. The kindness of everyone who's ever cared for you, A parent's low voice, a friend's easy laugh, the warm weight of someone leaning against you on a long ride home. All of that lives on in you, woven right into the way your nervous system knows how to feel safe. So if you'd like, as you lie here, you can let one of those gentle presences drift near. Someone whose company always made your shoulders drop an inch. You don't have to picture them clearly. Just let the feeling of them settle in the room with you, warm and quiet, keeping you company while you sink down toward sleep. Now here's a soft and surprising one about memory and about how much your sleeping mind is doing for you tonight. You might imagine that when you sleep, your brain just switches off and goes dark, like a shop at closing time. But it's very nearly the opposite. While you rest, your mind gets busy in the loveliest way, sorting quietly through everything the day handed you, deciding what to keep, what to let soften, what to gently file away. The small, unimportant clutter of the day gets swept out, and the things that mattered, a kind word, something you learned, a feeling worth holding on to, get carefully tucked into the deeper shelves where they'll last. There's even a gentle washing that happens up there. As you drift into the deepest stretches of sleep, the spaces in your brain open just a little wider, and a slow tide moves through, clearing away the residue that builds up over a long day of thinking and feeling. It's a bit like a caretaker moving softly through a great library after everyone's gone home, straightening the shelves, dimming the lamps, leaving everything clean and ordered for the morning. You don't have to do a single thing to make it happen. You only have to sleep. And by simply letting yourself rest tonight, you're giving your mind the quiet it needs to take care of you, to put you back together, gently, while you're away. Let me share a small warm fact about the sound of a familiar voice, maybe even the reason this kind of gentle talking helps you drift. From the very earliest part of your life, before you had any words at all, you learned that a soft, steady, low voice meant one thing above all else: safety. Someone was near. Someone was watching over you. You could let go. That wiring never really leaves us. Even now, all these years later, a calm voice moving slowly through the quiet still reaches that old, tender place in you. The part that first learned to relax to the sound of someone gentle nearby. It doesn't much matter what the words are. It's the rhythm of it, the softness, the unhurried rise and fall, like waves that never quite break. Your mind hears that, and something in it eases, remembering all the way down at the root that this is what safety sounds like. So you don't have to follow every word I'm saying. You really don't. You can let the meaning blur if it wants to. Let the sentences turn into something more like a warm sound in a dark room. That's more than enough. Your oldest self already knows this song. It's been drifting off to it since the very beginning. Here's one more quiet wonder about the mind before we wander a little further. You know how a feeling can change completely depending on where you are and who you're with. The very same racing heart can mean fear in one moment and excitement in another. The very same tears can come from sorrow or from overwhelming relief. Your mind is always doing this gentle work of coloring in your experience, deciding what a sensation means. And a huge part of what tips it one way or the other is simply how safe you feel. When your body senses that all is well, that you're warm, that you're held, that nothing is coming for you in the dark, it reads the very same signals in the softest possible way. That flutter becomes a gentle stirring instead of an alarm. That heaviness in your limbs becomes comfort instead of exhaustion. So right now, wrapped in the quiet, with nothing asked of you and nowhere to be, your mind is free to read everything you're feeling in the kindest light there is. There's no threat here for it to brace against. Only warmth, only rest, only the slow settling of a body that's finally, fully allowed to let down its guard. And in that safety, every sensation softens into something you can simply sink into. And there's a tenderness in the way your brain treats repetition too. The way it comes to trust the things it meets again and again. The first time you do something, your mind stays a little alert, feeling out the edges of it, unsure what to expect. But the second time, and the third, and every time after, it settles a little more, trusting a little more, needing less and less effort to feel at ease. That's part of why a bedtime routine works such quiet magic. Why the same soft song, the same low voice, the same gentle winding down at the end of the day can carry you off faster each time you return to it. Your mind learns the shape of rest and starts reaching for it on its own the moment the familiar cues begin. So every night you spend drifting off like this, you're not just falling asleep. You're teaching your body a path, worn a little smoother, a little easier each time you walk it. And soon, your mind will know the way so well that the first low words, the first dimming of the light, will be enough to start you gently downhill towards sleep before you've even noticed you've begun. Before we drift on together, I want to leave a little door open for you, something to carry into the quiet or into the morning, if that's where you find these words. If any of these small facts about the mind stirred something in you tonight, a memory, a feeling, a person who came softly to mind, I'd love it if you left a little note in the comments whenever you happen to wake. Tell me which one reached you. Tell me what your own mind gets up to as you drift, or the small ritual that always helps you let go at the end of a long day. There's something quietly lovely about a whole community of us, scattered all over, each lying in our own dark rooms, each easing toward the same soft place at the end of the day. Reading those little notes reminds me that these gentle words are landing somewhere real, in someone real, and it helps me know which quiet corners of the mind to wander through next time. But for right now, there's nothing at all for you to do. No comment to write yet, no thought to hold. Just let my voice keep moving slowly through the dark, and let yourself keep sinking, warm and unhurried, deeper and softer, toward the rest that's already reaching up to meet you. There's a small, funny thing your mind does that most people never stop to notice. The way a yawn can travel from one person to another, like a ripple across still water. You see someone yawn, or you hear one, or honestly, you just read the word, and something in you answers back without asking your permission. And here's the tender part of it. Scientists think that quiet contagion is actually a kind of empathy, a sign of how deeply we're wired to feel along with the people around us. The more connected you are to someone, the more likely their yawn is to pull one gently out of you. So it isn't just tiredness spreading, it's closeness. It's the oldest part of you recognizing another person and softly matching their rhythm. The way a body leans toward warmth. And maybe, somewhere in the middle of listening to me talk about it, you'll feel that slow pull yourself, that easy, sinking urge to let your jaw fall loose and your breath go long. If it comes, just let it. It's only your body remembering how good it feels to let go. And speaking of the way we quietly match the people we're near, there's something lovely that happens between two people who feel safe together, something they never plan and never notice. Their bodies begin to sync, sitting close to someone you trust. Your breathing can drift into step with theirs. Your heart rate can ease toward the same slow tempo. Even the tiny rhythm of your blinking can fall into a gentle harmony, without a single word passing between you. It's as though, underneath all our talking and thinking, our bodies are always having a softer conversation of their own, one made of rhythm and nearness, and the simple comfort of not being alone. And you know, in a small way, that's a little of what's happening right now. My voice, moving slow and even through the dark, is offering your body a rhythm to lean into. You don't have to reach for it. Just let it be there, steady in the background, like someone breathing quietly beside you while you fall asleep. Here's another gentle one, and it's about the way your mind holds on to the shape of a story. When you look back on almost anything, a day, a trip, a whole stretch of your life, you don't remember every even moment of it. Your mind tends to hold on to the beginning, and it holds on to the end. And it lets so much of the soft middle blur together into a warm sort of haze. Researchers have a name for it, this leaning toward the edges of things. But what I love is what it means for a night like this one. It means the way a day ends carries real weight in how you'll remember it. All the small frictions, the little worries, the things that felt so pressing a few hours ago, they're already sinking down into that gentle middle haze, softening, losing their sharp corners. And this right here, these quiet minutes of warmth and rest, this is the ending your mind will hold on to. You're not just finishing the day, you're giving it a soft place to land. You're closing the book gently, so that when you look back, what stays with you is the calm. And there's something quietly reassuring about what your brain gets up to once you've truly drifted off. Because it doesn't just go dark and wait for morning. All through the night, in the deep hours, it's replaying pieces of your day, running back over the things you learned and felt and did, moving them from the shallow, fragile kind of memory into the deep, settled kind that lasts. It's a little like a librarian moving through a quiet building after closing, gathering up all the loose pages scattered across the day, and carefully filing each one where it belongs. Whatever you struggled with today, a new name, a new skill, some small thing your hands were learning, your sleeping mind will turn it over and over in the dark. And there's a real chance it'll feel just a little easier tomorrow, without you doing anything at all. That's the strange gift of sleep. You lie here doing nothing, resting completely, and somewhere beneath the surface, you're quietly getting better at being you. So there's truly nothing to hold on to tonight. You can hand it all over. Your mind knows exactly what to do with it while you rest. Let me tell you about daydreaming for a moment, because it turns out that wandering mind of yours isn't the lazy thing people sometimes make it out to be. When you stop focusing on any one task and let your thoughts drift wherever they like, the way they might right now, slipping from my voice to some half-formed image and back again, a whole network deep in your brain quietly lights up and gets to work. It's the same soft, inward state where a lot of your creativity lives, where old ideas bump into each other and become new ones, where you make sense of who you are and how you feel about the people in your life. Some of your best thoughts have probably arrived not when you were straining for them, but when you'd finally let go, in the shower, on a slow walk, in that hazy place just before sleep. So if your mind is drifting a little as you lie here, wandering off down some side path of its own, that's not you failing to listen. That's your brain doing one of the most natural, most human things it knows how to do. Let it wander. There's nowhere it can go tonight that isn't safe. Here's a warm one about the people you carry with you. You know how you can hear a song, or catch a certain smell, or turn a corner in an old neighborhood, and suddenly you're flooded with a whole feeling from years ago, a whole time, a whole version of yourself. That soft ache has a name. It's nostalgia, and for a long time people thought of it as a sad thing, almost a kind of homesickness for a place you can never get back to. But the science tells a kinder story. When you sink into a warm memory like that, it actually lifts your mood, eases your loneliness, and makes life feel more meaningful, more connected, more worth the living. Nostalgia is your mind's way of reminding you that you've been loved, that you've belonged, that you've had moments worth keeping. So if some old memory floats up to you tonight, soft around the edges, a kitchen you used to sit in, a person who used to be near, a season that felt like home, don't push it away. Let it warm you. It's your own mind offering you a small gift, proof of all the good that's already lived inside your one and only life. And here's something about the quiet power of a familiar sound. Because your brain has a beautiful habit of finding patterns, of reaching for what it already knows. There's a reason a lullaby has more or less the same slow shape all over the world, in every language people have ever sung in. Slow, repeating, gently rising and falling, a little predictable. Your mind loves that predictability. When a sound is steady and soft and gives your brain nothing sudden to brace against, it reads that as a kind of promise. The promise that the world around you is calm, that nothing needs watching, that you're free to loosen your grip. That low, even hum of a familiar voice, the steady lap of the ocean, the soft patter of rain on a window. They all whisper the very same thing to the deepest part of you. All is well. You can rest now, and that's part of what I'm hoping to be for you tonight. Just a steady, unhurried sound in the dark, predictable in the loveliest way, asking nothing, giving your busy mind permission to finally stop keeping watch. Let me share a small thing about faces, because it says something tender about how your mind is built. Have you ever noticed a face where there wasn't one? Two knots in a wooden door and a curve beneath them. And suddenly, there's a little expression looking back at you. Clouds that seem to smile. The front of a car that looks almost surprised. Patterns in the tiles on a bathroom floor that arrange themselves into something almost alive? That's your brain, so exquisitely tuned to other people that it goes looking for faces everywhere, even in places that have none. And far from being a flaw, it's a sign of how deeply social you are, how much of your mind is devoted to connection, to reading the people around you, to finding the familiar in the world. You are, right down to the wiring, a creature made for closeness. Even alone in a dark room, your mind is quietly reaching out, looking for the warmth of another face. There's something comforting in that, I think. The reminder that the longing to feel close to others isn't a weakness in you. It's one of the truest things about being human. And here's a gentle one about kindness turned inward, about the way you speak to yourself in the quiet. For a lot of us, that inner voice can be sharper than we'd ever be with someone we love. Quick to judge, slow to forgive, always tallying up the ways we fell short. But research into self-compassion has found something worth holding on to. When you learn to treat yourself the way you'd treat a good friend, with a little patience, a little warmth, a little understanding that being human is hard and you're doing your best, your whole nervous system responds. Your body calms. That same soothing pathway we've talked about, the one that carries the message that you're safe, it answers to kindness, even when the kindness is coming from you. So here in the dark, if any small regret from the day tries to surface, see if you can meet it the way you'd meet a tired child, not with sharpness, but with softness. You made it through today. You did enough. You are enough. Say it as gently to yourself as you'd say it to someone you love, and feel how your body believes you. There's a quiet marvel in the way your senses hand off to one another as you drift too. As you sink toward sleep, your brain slowly turns down the volume on the outside world. Sounds soften. The room seems to recede. The feeling of the blanket, the surface beneath you, the small noises of the night, they all begin to fade to a distant murmur, because your mind is gently pulling its attention inward, away from the world and toward the deep, restful dark inside. It's a little like a house at the end of the evening, where one by one the lights in the outer rooms go dark, until only a single warm glow remains somewhere deep in the middle. That's what's happening in you now. The outer rooms are dimming. My voice might already be starting to feel farther away, a little softer at the edges. And that's exactly as it should be. You don't need to hold on to every word. You don't need to hold on to anything. Just let the outer lights go dark, one by one, and let yourself sink toward that single warm glow at the center of you, where rest is already waiting. And one last small wonder before we wander on, because it's one of my favorites. Your mind has a beautiful way of filling in the gaps, of taking something incomplete and quietly making it whole. You felt it without knowing, the way you can read a sentence with a letter missing and never even notice. The way you can hear a familiar song with a word dropped out and your mind simply supplies it. The way a story with a piece left unsaid still somehow feels complete. Your brain is always gently reaching for wholeness, smoothing over the missing bits, making sense of the unfinished. And I find something deeply comforting in that, especially at the end of a day that maybe didn't come together the way you'd hoped. You don't have to have finished everything. You don't have to have every loose end tied. Your mind is built to rest inside the incomplete, to find peace in the unfinished, to let a day that's only half resolved still settle into something whole enough to sleep on. So let the loose ends stay loose tonight. Let the unfinished things stay unfinished. Your mind knows how to make a kind of wholeness out of them, the same way it always has, while you drift somewhere soft and far away. There's a soft little truth about the way your mind holds on to the people who've been kind to you. And I want to share it while you're lying here in the quiet, long after a warm moment has passed, a hand on your shoulder, someone who listened when you needed it, a stranger who was gentle with you on a hard day. Your brain keeps a kind of echo of that warmth, You don't have to consciously remember it. It settles down into you somewhere deep, and it becomes part of the quiet background feeling of being safe in the world. So even now, in the dark, you are carrying with you every kind thing that's ever been done for you, whether you can call it to mind or not. It's all still in there, softening the edges of you, reminding your nervous system that the world has held you before and can hold you again. Let that be a blanket over you tonight. You are made, in part, of other people's tenderness. And here's something gentle about the way your breathing and your thinking are tied together, quietly, all day long, without you ever noticing. When your mind races, your breath tends to shorten and climb up into your chest. And when your breath slows and drops down low into your belly, your thoughts tend to follow, settling and spreading out and losing their sharp edges. It works in both directions, which means you have a soft little back door into your own calm, always, right there under your nose. You don't have to think your way to peace. You can breathe your way there instead. So there's nothing for you to figure out right now, nothing to solve. Just let the breath go long and low and easy, and let your thoughts drift down to meet it, the way mist settles into a valley at the end of the day. Slow on the way in, slower on the way out. And each time you let a breath go, feel a little more of the day go with it. Let me tell you something tender about the way your mind treats the sound of rain, or waves, or wind moving through trees. These soft, steady, natural sounds have a quality that researchers find fascinating. They're gentle and shifting and unpredictable in the smallest ways, never quite repeating, and yet never sharp or sudden either. Your brain, which is always on some quiet level listening for anything that might need your attention, hears these sounds and finds nothing in them to worry about. No sudden edges, no warning, just a soft, endless, formless murmur that says, over and over, all is well, all is well, nothing here needs you. It's one of the oldest comforts there is, older than words, older than houses. Somewhere far back, your ancestors fell asleep to the sound of rain on leaves and water moving over stones. And something in you still remembers that this is the sound of safety. So if you'd like, you can imagine a soft rain falling somewhere just outside, steady and endless, and asking nothing of you at all. Let it wash the day away, drop by drop by drop. There's a quiet wonder in the way your sense of self loosens as you drift towards sleep. And it's one of the kindest things your mind does for you. All day long, you carry around this firm, busy sense of being you, of being someone with a name, a to-do list, a set of worries, a role to play. It takes a surprising amount of energy to hold all of that together, to keep being the fixed, defined person the day asks you to be. But as you sink towards sleep, your brain gently loosens its grip on all of that. The boundaries soften. The sharp outline of who you're supposed to be starts to blur at the edges, and you become something simpler, something quieter, just a warm, breathing creature at rest, safe in the dark. You don't have to be anyone in particular right now. You don't have to keep holding the shape of yourself together. Let it go soft. Let it go loose. Let yourself be no one for a while, just a gentle presence in the quiet, and notice how much lighter that feels. I want to tell you something about kindness that comes back around, because it's one of the loveliest patterns in all of human nature. When someone is warm to you, something in you naturally wants to be warm to the next person you meet. Kindness has a way of moving through people, one to the next, like a candle lighting other candles without ever losing its own flame. You've been part of that chain your whole life, more times than you'll ever know, passing along a little of the gentleness that was given to you, softening someone else's hard day because someone once softened yours. And the beautiful part is, you'll never see most of where it goes. A kind word you gave someone years ago might still be traveling, still passing from person to person, out there in the world somewhere, long after you've forgotten you ever said it. So as you lie here, you can rest in the knowledge that you've sent more good out into the world than you'll ever be able to count. It's still moving. It's still lighting other candles. And you can sleep knowing that. Here's a small, soft fact about the way your body knows how to heal itself while you sleep. Without asking you for a single thing, all through the night, in the deep, quiet hours, your body is quietly at work, mending small hurts, tidying up the day's wear, settling the countless little systems that keep you alive back into balance. You don't have to manage any of it. You don't have to remember to do it or worry whether it's being done. Your body has been doing this every single night of your whole life, with a patience and a competence that never once needed your supervision. There's such deep relief in that, if you let yourself feel it. The most important repair work of your entire day happens while you're doing absolutely nothing at all, while you're simply resting, simply here, simply letting go. So you can hand the whole thing over now. Your body knows the way. It has always known the way. All you have to do is sleep and let it do what it's always done. Let me share something gentle about the way your mind holds on to endings. The good kind, the soft kind. When a day closes peacefully, when the last thing you feel before sleep is calm and warmth and a sense of being safe, your mind tends to keep that as the flavor of the whole day. It's a little quirk in the way memory works. The ending colors the way you remember everything that came before it. Which means the way you fall asleep tonight actually reaches backward and gently shapes how your whole day will feel to you tomorrow. So this, right here, right now, this soft and easy drifting, this is a gift you're giving to the version of you who wakes up in the morning. You're letting the day end in gentleness, and that gentleness will spread back across all the hours behind you, softening the sharp parts, warming the cold ones. Let the day end soft. Let it end here in the quiet, with nothing left to do but rest. There's a lovely thing that happens with the weight of a blanket, and I want to tell you about it while you're lying here beneath one. That gentle, even pressure across your body, the soft heaviness of the covers, the way they press you kindly down toward the surface beneath you, speaks to something very old and very deep in your nervous system. Steady, gentle pressure has a way of telling your body that it's held, that it's contained, that it's safe to let go completely. It's a little like the feeling of being wrapped up snug as a small child, when someone bigger than you made the world feel manageable just by holding you close. Your body never forgets that feeling, so let yourself notice the gentle weight on you now. The covers over your chest, over your legs, the soft surface holding you up from below. You're being held from every side. There's nowhere to fall. You can let your whole weight go and trust that you'll be caught, because you already are. I want to tell you something quiet about the way worry works and why it loosens its grip at night if you let it. During the day, your mind holds on to worries because, somewhere deep down, it believes that worrying is a form of doing, that if it keeps turning a problem over, it's somehow keeping you safe, staying ready, guarding against the thing going wrong. It's trying to help you in its own anxious, tireless way. But here in the dark, there is nothing to guard against. There's nothing to solve at this hour, nothing to fix, no action you could possibly take right now that would be better than rest. And you can actually tell your mind that, gently, the way you'd reassure a friend who's staying up late worrying over something they can't change tonight. You can say, not now, not tonight. Whatever it is, it will still be there in the morning, and you'll meet it then, rested and clear. Right now, there's only this: the dark, the warmth, the breath, the rest. The worries can wait. They'll keep. Let them set themselves down for the night. Here's a soft and curious thing about the way your imagination and your body are connected. When you picture something calm and lovely in your mind, a quiet beach at dusk, a warm room with rain on the window, a slow walk through a garden going soft in the evening light, your body responds almost as though it were really there. Your muscles ease. Your breath slows. That soothing pathway we keep returning to sends its gentle message all through you, just from the picturing, just from the imagining. Your body doesn't draw a hard line between a peaceful place you're standing in and a peaceful place you're only picturing. It believes the calm either way. So you can take yourself somewhere gentle right now, just in your mind. Somewhere you've been that felt safe, or somewhere you've only dreamed of. Let yourself walk slowly into it. Feel the air there, the light there, the quiet there. Your body will follow you in, and it will rest there as truly as if you'd traveled 1,000 miles to lie down in it. And let me tell you one more small, warm thing before we drift a little deeper. Your mind has a natural pull toward the people and things that make it feel safe. A kind of quiet homing instinct that runs underneath all your busier thoughts. All day long, in the background, some soft part of you is reaching toward comfort, toward warmth, toward the places and faces where you can let your guard all the way down. And there's something beautiful in knowing that this very moment, this quiet, this dark, this letting go, is exactly the kind of thing that pull has been reaching toward all day. You're not fighting your nature by resting now. You're finally giving it what it's wanted since morning. This is where the whole day has been quietly trying to bring you. Here, to stillness, to safety, to the soft dark where nothing is required of you, and everything can finally rest. You've arrived. There's nowhere else to get to. You're already home. So let yourself sink a little further now, down past thinking, down past trying, down into that deep and easy place your body knows so well. Every breath is carrying you gently lower. Every small sound in the night is just another reminder that you're safe, that the world is turning along fine without your watching over it, that you're allowed to set the whole day down and simply be here, warm and heavy and held. There's nothing left for you to do tonight, nothing left to hold. My voice can go on drifting softly at the edges of things, and you don't have to follow it anymore. You can let it blur into the quiet, the way a light in a distant window blurs into the dark as you fall asleep. Just let go a little more with each breath, a little softer, a little heavier, a little farther away. And let the gentle dark come up to meet you, slow and kind, exactly as it should. There's a soft thing happening inside your head right now, in these quiet hours, that I think you'll like knowing about. All through the deepest part of your sleep, your brain does a kind of gentle housekeeping. The spaces between its cells open up just a little wider than they do in the daytime, and a slow, clean tide moves through, carrying away the small leftovers of a long day of thinking. It's a bit like a quiet street being washed clean in the middle of the night, so that by morning, everything feels fresh and new again. And here's the tender part. This only really happens well when you let yourself sink all the way down into rest. So by lying here, by letting go the way you're letting go now, you're not doing nothing. You're giving your mind the one thing it needs to come back clearer and lighter tomorrow. You're being cared for by your own body from the inside without having to lift a finger. Isn't that a kind thing to know? That even your rest is doing quiet, useful, loving work. Let me tell you about the strange comfort of a familiar song. You know how there are certain tunes that don't just play in your ears, but seem to open a whole door inside you, a whole season of your life, a whole feeling you'd half forgotten you carried. There's a reason music reaches so deep. It doesn't land in just one small corner of your mind. It lights up almost the whole thing at once. The parts that keep rhythm, the parts that hold memory, the parts that stir up feeling, all humming together in time with the sound. That's why a song you loved long ago can still find you, even on your hardest days, even when so much else has slipped away. The melody remembers you, and there's something restful in that thought, isn't there? That some of the gentlest things about you are held not in words, which fade, but in music and feeling, which seem to stay. You don't have to work to keep them. They keep themselves safe and whole, somewhere quiet inside you. Here's a soft little truth about warmth and closeness that I've always found sweet. When you hold something warm in your hands, a mug of tea on a cold night, a cup cradled between your palms, a curious thing happens in your mind. That physical warmth spilling into your fingers actually nudges you to feel warmer toward the people around you. Gentler, more open, a little more trusting. Somewhere deep down, your mind treats the heat of a cup and the warmth of a kind heart as almost the same thing. Tangled up together since you were very small, and being held close was how you first learned that the world was safe. So on any evening when you feel a little cold or a little far from people, something as simple as a warm drink can quietly soften you from the inside. And right now, wrapped in the warmth of your own bed, your own covers, your own slow breath, some old, gentle part of you is reading that warmth as love, as safety, as the arms of a world that means you no harm tonight. Let me share something about the way your mind quietly softens the past. You might think that memories fade the same way all around, the good and the hard alike, slowly going gray together. But that's not quite how it works. Over time, for most of us, the sting tends to drain out of the difficult memories faster than the glow fades from the sweet ones. The sharp edges of an old embarrassment, an old worry, an old hurt, they wear down, they grow softer, until one day you can look back on them and barely feel the pinch. But the warm moments, the ones that made you laugh until you couldn't breathe, the small kindnesses, the easy afternoons. Those tend to hold their color longer. It's as if your mind is quietly on your side, gently tilting the whole story of your life toward the tender parts. So when you look back years from now on, this very ordinary night, chances are you won't remember whatever small thing worried you today. You'll be far more likely to keep the warmth, the rest, the softness. Your memory is kind that way. It's always, slowly, editing your life into something a little gentler than it was. There's a lovely thing that happens when someone tells you a story. And it's part of why this gentle talking helps you drift. When you listen to a good story, your brain doesn't just file away the facts of it, the way it might a phone number or a grocery list. It actually lives the story a little. When I mention the sound of rain on a window, some quiet part of you almost hears it. When I speak of a slow walk through an evening garden, the parts of your mind that handle movement stir softly, as if you were strolling there yourself. A story pulls your whole mind gently along with it, which is exactly why a soft voice telling soft things is such an easy, natural doorway into sleep. You're not being asked to think, or solve, or keep track of anything. You're just being carried, the way a child is carried, half dreaming, from the car to their bed, into somewhere calm and safe, with no effort of your own at all. Let me tell you something tender about how little other people are truly watching you. So many of us carry, all day long, this quiet sense that we're being observed, that others are noticing our small stumbles, remembering our awkward moments, keeping some running tally of the ways we came up short. But here's the gentle truth. Everyone else is mostly wrapped up in their own inner world, their own worries, their own quiet sense of being watched. That thing you said 3 days ago that still makes you wince. Almost no one else even remembers it. That small mistake you keep replaying, it slipped out of everyone else's mind almost the moment it happened. We each shine a bright, harsh spotlight on ourselves and imagine the whole room is looking through it. But the room, mostly, is looking at itself. And there's such freedom in that, especially now, at the end of the day. You can set down that heavy sense of being judged. You can let it go entirely. Tonight, in the dark, there is no audience, no spotlight, no one keeping score. There is only you, allowed at long last to simply be, unwatched and unbothered and free. Here's a quiet little wonder about your own eyes, though they're softly closed now. All day long, right in the middle of your vision, there's a small spot where you actually can't see anything at all. A little gap where the nerve leaves the back of each eye. But you've never once noticed it, have you? That's because your mind, tirelessly and without ever mentioning it, fills that gap in for you, painting in whatever it guesses should be there, smoothing the whole world over into something seamless and whole. And it does this every waking second of your life, quietly, so that you never feel the hole. I think there's something beautiful in that. The way your mind is always, gently, in the background, making things feel more complete than they really are, sparing you the gaps, handing you a whole and steady world to live in. It's been doing that kindness for you your entire life, and you never had to ask. You never even had to know. Let me tell you about the calm that comes from stroking a soft thing. A cat curled warm in your lap. A dog leaning its weight against your leg. Even just the gentle pull of your hand over a soft blanket. That slow, repeating motion. That warmth. That easy contact. It sends a quiet signal all through your body that lowers the racing, that softens the tension, that tells your heart it can slow its pace. It's such an old comfort, older than words, older than almost anything about us. Long before people had houses or language or names for things, we were soothed by warmth and gentle touch, by the nearness of another breathing body. And that ancient comfort still lives in you now, tonight, in the softness of your own bed against your skin, in the gentle weight of the covers, in the simple warm fact of being a body at rest in a safe and quiet place. You carry that old peace inside you, always. It never left. It was only ever waiting for a moment this still to come back to the surface. Here's a small, sweet thing about the way we ease as we grow older, which I find quietly hopeful. As people move through their lives, most of them don't grow more bitter or more fearful, the way you might expect. Instead, something softens. Older folks, on the whole, tend to hold on to the good moments more readily, to notice the sweetness more, to let the small irritations roll off a little easier. Their minds seem to lean more and more toward the warm and the kind and the beautiful. It's as if the longer you live, the more your mind learns what's actually worth keeping, and quietly starts keeping mostly that. So if some part of you ever worries about the years ahead, you can rest that worry down tonight. There's a good chance the road leads somewhere gentler than you fear, toward more peace, not less, more appreciation, not more dread. The mind, given time, seems to find its way toward tenderness. And you're on that road already, tonight, learning the same soft lesson, that so much of what feels urgent can simply be set down, and that what's left when you set it down is usually the good part. Let me share one more quiet thing before we drift on, about the way a name can reach you even through the deepest fog. You know how, in a crowded, noisy room, everyone talking over everyone, a wash of sound you're barely following. If someone across the way says your name, you catch it instantly. It cuts right through all that noise straight to you. Your mind, even while it seems to be off wandering, is always keeping one soft ear open for the things that matter most to you. Your own name, chief among them. And I tell you this not to keep you alert, but for the opposite reason, because it means some watchful, caring part of you never fully stops listening for what you need, even as the rest of you lets go. You don't have to stay on guard tonight. You don't have to keep one eye open. That quiet, faithful part of your mind will keep its gentle watch for you, the way it always has, so that the rest of you, the tired, tender, ready for rest of you, can sink all the way down into sleep, safe in the knowing that you're still, softly, being looked after from within. So let all of that settle over you now, like a second blanket, warm and easy. Your mind washing itself clean in the dark, your favorite songs holding your memories safe, your warmth reading as love, your past growing gentler with every passing year, your whole self quietly cared for from the inside out. There's so much goodness happening in you right now, without one bit of effort on your part. You get to simply lie here and receive it. You get to do nothing at all and still be mended, still be tended, still be carried softly toward the morning. This is the easiest work there is. This letting go, this resting, this trusting that you're in good hands, even if the hands are your own. And so we drift on, slow and unhurried, with nowhere to be and nothing to prove. just a little further down into the quiet, a little deeper into the dark, a little closer to the sleep that's already reaching up so gently to meet you. Let me tell you something soft about the way your mind holds on to the people who are far away, or even gone. You might think that once someone leaves your life, moves across the country, drifts out of touch, or slips away for good, that the part of you shaped by them just fades along with them. But it doesn't work that way. Every person you've ever loved, every voice that ever made you feel safe, leaves a kind of quiet imprint inside you. You carry little pieces of them everywhere you go. A phrase your grandmother used to say, the particular way an old friend laughed, the calm a certain person could bring to a room just by walking into it. And here's the tender part. When you need that comfort, your mind can reach for it all on its own, even when they're nowhere near. It can conjure the feeling of being cared for, the way you might hum a song you haven't heard in years and find every note still there, so you're never quite as alone as the dark can sometimes make you feel. You're a gathering of everyone who was ever gentle with you, all of them tucked somewhere safe inside, all of them here with you now, in the quiet. Let that be a warm thought to rest against. You carry your whole soft history with you into sleep tonight. And speaking of that quiet company, let me tell you something lovely about the way your brain treats a familiar place. You know how, when you walk into somewhere you've been many times before, an old home, a favorite corner of a park, a room where good things once happened, your whole body seems to relax a notch before you've even thought about it. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing eases. That's your mind recognizing the shape of safety. It has mapped that place, learned its edges, decided long ago that nothing here needs guarding against. And the beautiful thing is, you can build that same feeling of a safe place inside your own head, one you can return to any time, no travel required. Maybe it's a spot from your childhood. Maybe it's somewhere you've never been, but always imagined. Your mind doesn't much care about the difference. It will settle into an imagined safe place nearly as easily as a real one. So perhaps, as you lie here, you'll let one drift up for you. A room, a shore, a hillside in soft evening light, and your body, recognizing the shape of it, will do what it always does in a place it trusts. It will let go a little more. Here's another quiet thing, and it's about how gentle your mind actually is with the passing of a hard day. You'd think that when something difficult happens, an awkward moment, a small failure, a worry that gnawed at you for hours, your brain would keep it sharp and close, replaying it in full color forever. But it doesn't. Over time, the edges of those difficult memories wear smooth, like sea glass turned over and over by the water, until nothing about it can cut you anymore. The details soften, the sting fades. What felt enormous at noon can feel almost weightless by the time enough nights have passed over it. And sleep itself is part of how that happens. Tonight, while you rest, your mind will take some of the day's little roughness and begin, ever so gently, to smooth it down. You don't have to help. You don't have to decide what to keep or let go. That wise, patient part of you already knows how to do this and has been doing it your whole life, night after night, softening what needs softening, keeping what deserves keeping. You can simply trust it and drift. Let me share something tender about the sound of your own breathing. Right now, without your steering it at all, Your breath is finding its own slow rhythm, a little slower with each passing minute, a little deeper, a little quieter. And your mind, if it happens to notice, tends to take that rhythm as a signal. Slow breath, it decides, means all is well. Slow breath means there's no danger here, nothing to run from, nothing to brace against. It's one of the oldest agreements in your body, that when the breath grows calm, the whole self is allowed to grow calm along with it. And you don't have to force any of it. You don't have to count or measure or make your breathing perfect. You only have to let it be and let it lead. Feel it now. That soft rise, that slow fall. The little pause at the bottom where everything goes still for just a heartbeat before the next breath gathers on its own. Your body knows this dance without you. It has breathed you through every night of your life, and it will breathe you through this one too, all the way to morning. Now here's a gentle little truth about how kindness settles in a body, including your own. When you speak softly to yourself, the way I'm speaking to you now, when you offer yourself a bit of patience instead of the usual sharp words, something in your nervous system actually eases. Your body can't quite tell the difference between kindness that comes from someone else and kindness you offer yourself. A warm word is a warm word, whether it arrives from across the room or from somewhere inside your own chest. So imagine, just for a moment, saying something gentle to the version of you lying here. Not a lecture, not a list of things to fix, just something kind. That you did enough today, that you're allowed to rest now, that whatever's left undone will still be there tomorrow and can wait. Say it the way you'd say it to someone small and tired that you loved very much. And notice how your body answers, how it loosens just a little in the simple relief of being spoken to gently. You deserve that softness, and it costs you nothing, and it's yours whenever you reach for it. Let me tell you something quietly wonderful about the way your mind works while you sleep. When it comes to solving the things that puzzle you, you've probably had this happen. You wrestle with some problem all day, some knot you can't untie, and you finally give up and go to bed frustrated, sure you're no closer than when you started. And then you wake up in the morning, and somehow the answer is just there, sitting quietly in your mind, as though it had been waiting for you all along. That's not luck, and it's not magic. While you sleep, your brain keeps turning things over in the background, making connections it couldn't quite reach while you were busy and awake and trying too hard. It links a thought from this morning to a memory from years ago, and sometimes, in that loose and dreamy state, the pieces finally click. So tonight, if there's something weighing on you, something unresolved, you can hand it over. You can let your sleeping mind take a turn with it. You've done your part by thinking so hard. Now let the quiet do the rest. You may just find, come morning, that something has gently sorted itself out while you weren't looking. Here's a small and comforting thing about how much your body loves routine, including the simple routine of resting. Every time you settle down to sleep in the same way, at a similar hour, in a familiar spot, you're teaching your body a kind of gentle expectation. It begins to know what's coming. It starts to prepare for rest before you've even closed your eyes, the way your mouth might water before a meal you can already smell. And that means each night of quiet, like this one, makes the next one a little easier. You're not just resting tonight. You're teaching your body, patiently, that this is a safe and reliable thing, that rest comes, that the dark is kind, that letting go leads somewhere good. So even this, right now, is a small gift to your future self. The you of tomorrow night and the night after that will slip down into sleep just a touch more easily because of the trust you're building this very moment. It all adds up, quietly, in your favor. Let me tell you something tender about tears, since they're one of the strangest and softest things your body does. You've probably noticed that a good cry can leave you feeling washed out and lighter afterward, almost peaceful, the way the air feels clean after a storm has passed through. There's something real in that. The tears you cry from deep feeling aren't quite the same as the ones from chopping onions. They actually carry some of the day's stress right out of you. A small physical release of everything that had built up inside. It's your body's own way of letting the pressure down, of tending to itself without your having to understand any of it. So if the quiet ever brings a few tears up in you, here in the dark, where no one's watching and nothing's expected, you can simply let them come. There's no sadness required, no story needed. Sometimes the body just needs to release a little, the way a cloud finally lets go of the rain it's been carrying. And afterward comes that clean, quiet lightness, and you can sink down softer than before. Now here's a gentle fact about how your mind measures a good life, which turns out to be kinder than you might expect. When people look back, near the end of things, on all their years, they almost never wish they'd worried more, or worked more, or spent more nights lying awake over things that never came to pass. What they remember, what shines, are the warm, ordinary moments, a shared meal, a quiet afternoon, the sound of someone they loved moving around in the next room. The small stuff, it turns out, was the big stuff all along. And there's something freeing in that, especially at an hour like this. Because it means the worries pressing on you right now, the ones that feel so urgent in the daylight, will very likely turn out to matter far less than you think. And these quiet moments, even this one, lying here in the soft dark, breathing slow, these are the very kind of moments that end up mattering most. You're not wasting this time by resting. You're spending it on exactly the sort of thing a whole life gets measured by in the end. So let that ease you. This gentle hour counts. It counts more than almost anything. Let me share one more soft thing before we drift a little deeper. And it's about the way your mind and the darkness get along. You might think of the dark as something the mind resists, something a little uneasy. But for a body as old and wise as yours, in the truest sense, darkness has always been the signal for rest. For as long as there have been people, the fading of the light has meant the same thing. The day's work is done. The time for watchfulness is passing. It's safe now to lay the body down. And some quiet part of you still knows that language perfectly, still reads the darkness the way it always has, as a soft hand lowering over the world, saying enough, saying rest, saying you've carried enough today, and now you may set it down. So let the dark be your friend tonight. Let it do what it has always done for every tired soul that came before you. Let it draw the curtain gently closed on the day, and hold the quiet steady around you, and keep its patient watch while you slip further and further from the shore of waking. And so we go on drifting, slow and unhurried, with everything soft around you, and nothing at all to do. Your breath finding its own slow way. Your body growing heavier and warmer with each passing minute. All those little pieces of the people you've loved gathered close and keeping you company in the dark. Your worries wearing smooth like sea glass. Your mind quietly solving what it can and setting down the rest. Your whole tired self spoken to gently and allowed, at last, to simply rest. There's nothing left for you to hold tonight. Nothing to fix, nothing to guard, nothing to prove. Just this, the slow breath, the soft dark, the deep and easy sinking down. A little further now, a little deeper, a little closer to the sleep that's already here, waiting patiently, warm as a lit window on a cold night, ready to take you gently in and carry you all the way through to the morning. Let me tell you something soft about the way your mind treats the things you're looking forward to. You might think all the joy of a good thing lives in the moment it finally arrives. The trip, the meal with people you love, the quiet weekend with nothing to do. But your brain is kinder and more generous than that. It hands you a good part of the pleasure early, in the waiting, in the imagining. When you picture something warm that's coming, some little light on the horizon, your mind releases a gentle wave of the very same feel-good chemistry it'll give you when the thing actually happens. So the looking forward is its own small gift, arriving ahead of time. And here's the tender part, especially at this hour. You don't need anything grand on the horizon for this to work. Even the soft, sure knowledge that morning will come, that there'll be warmth and light and the ordinary comforts of a new day. Even that is enough to let a little of that gentle chemistry loose in you now. So let yourself lean, just slightly, toward the good that's coming. Not with any urgency, just a quiet, easy leaning, the way a plant turns without effort toward a window. There's something kind waiting for you on the other side of this sleep, and some part of you already knows it. Here's another gentle thing, and it's about the sky, of all places. For as long as there have been people, we've looked up at the stars on a clear night and felt something loosen in the chest, something hard to put into words. Researchers actually have a name for that feeling now. They call it awe, and it turns out to be one of the most quietly healing things a mind can feel. When you take in something vast and beautiful, a sky full of stars, a wide dark ocean, the slow drift of clouds across the moon, a curious shift happens inside you. Your own worries, the ones that loomed so large just an hour ago, quietly shrink down to their real size. Not because they stopped mattering, but because you suddenly feel yourself to be a small, held part of something enormous and ancient and unbothered. And that smallness, strangely, doesn't frighten the mind. It soothes it. It's a relief to remember you're not the one holding the whole sky up. The stars were there long before any of your troubles, and they'll keep on turning long after, patient and bright and utterly at peace. You can borrow a little of that peace tonight. You can let yourself be small and held, one quiet soul under a wide and gentle sky, with nothing at all required of you but to rest. Let me share something tender about laughter, since it's one of the loveliest things a body knows how to do. You've probably noticed that after a really good laugh, the kind that catches you off guard and shakes something loose, there's a stillness that comes afterward, a softness, a warmth spreading through you as everything settles back down. That's not your imagination. When you laugh, Your body lets go of the tight, guarded chemistry of stress, and in its place, it pours out a slow, easy calm that can linger for a long while after the laughing has stopped. It's one of the oldest ways people have ever had of telling each other, without a single word, "We're safe here. All is well. You can let your guard down with me." And your body still reads it that way. Maybe somewhere in your day, there was a moment like that. Some small, silly thing, a shared joke, a bit of warmth that made the corners of your mouth turn up. Let it come back to you now, soft and unhurried. Let the memory of that ease move through you again. You don't even have to smile. Just let the feeling of it settle over you like a warm blanket. The quiet aftermath of laughter. The body remembering that it's safe. Here's a quiet one about the very oldest kind of comfort you ever knew. Long before you had words, long before you could walk or even hold your own head up, you knew what it was to be carried, to be lifted and held close and rocked slowly while someone bigger and warmer than you moved gently through the world. And something in you never forgot that feeling. To this day, a slow rocking motion, a gentle steady sway, speaks straight to the oldest and most trusting part of your nervous system. It's why people rock in chairs when they're tired. It's why a slow train or a car on a long dark road can put you to sleep almost against your will. Your body reads that gentle motion as the very same message it got in the very beginning. You're being carried. You're being held. You can let go now because someone has you. You don't need to be moving to feel it tonight. Just let your slow breath be its own kind of rocking, that soft rise and fall, carrying you gently down. Imagine, if you like, that you're being held the way you were held at the very start, warm and safe and asked for nothing. Let that ancient comfort come back and cradle you now. Let me tell you something about lullabies, because it's one of the most beautiful things people share across the whole wide world, in every corner of the earth, in every language that's ever been spoken, in cultures that never once met or traded a single word. Mothers and fathers and grandparents have sung their little ones to sleep. And here's the astonishing part. The lullabies sound alike. Wherever you go, they share the same slow tempo, the same gentle rise and fall, the same soft, repeating simplicity. It's as though every culture on earth, working entirely on its own, arrived at the very same tune for love and rest. Some quiet wisdom, older than any language, that people just seem to know in their bones. And when you hear one, even now, even just the idea of one, some part of you recognizes it instantly, the way you'd recognize a face you loved a long time ago. Because you were sung to, once, in one form or another. Someone hummed you toward sleep, and that same slow, tender music lives in the pace of these words now, the same rise and fall, carrying you the same old way toward the same soft place. Let it. Let yourself be sung down into sleep by something as old as humankind itself. Here's a gentle thing about water and the strange pull it has on a tired mind. Have you ever noticed how being near water, a slow river, a quiet lake, the sea rolling in and out, seems to smooth something over inside you? Researchers who study this have found it again and again. There's a particular kind of calm that comes over the mind near water, a soft, spacious, dreamy sort of state. Some of it is the sound, that gentle repeating wash that your nervous system reads as safe and steady. Some of it is the way the light moves on the surface, endless and never quite the same twice, giving your busy mind something soft to rest on without any effort at all. And some of it is just very old. The deep knowledge carried in your body across countless generations that where there's clean water, there's life, there's safety, there's a place a body can rest. You don't need to be near any water tonight to borrow that calm. You can imagine it. A quiet shore in the last light of evening. Small waves arriving, one after another, in no hurry at all. Each one sliding up the sand and sliding softly back. Let your breath fall into that same rhythm. In as the wave arrives, out as it slips away. There's nowhere to be, nothing to reach, just the water and the light going gold and the endless gentle coming and going of the tide. Let me share something quietly reassuring about the way you sync up with the people around you, even without meaning to. You might have felt it before. You sit down beside someone who's deeply calm, someone steady and unhurried. And after a little while, you notice your own shoulders have dropped. Your own breath has slowed. Your own thoughts have settled into a lower gear. That's a real thing, and it has a name. Researchers call it co-regulation. Our nervous systems are built to speak to one another, quietly, underneath all our words. When you're near a calm and steady presence, your body picks up on it and begins to match it, drifting toward the same peace without you having to try. And that's part of what's happening right now, in a way. This slow, even voice, this unhurried pace, this steady presence keeping you company in the dark. Some part of you is quietly sinking to it, the way you'd sink to a calm friend sitting beside you. You're not doing this alone tonight. You're being kept company by a steady presence that's asking nothing of you but to settle and slow and rest. Let your body do what it already knows how to do. Let it borrow this calm and make it your own. Here's something soft about scent and the way it holds a person close. You may have noticed how the smell of someone you love, on a jacket they wore, a pillow where they slept, a scarf left behind, can bring them so vividly near that it almost aches. That's your mind doing one of the tenderest things it knows how to do. Of all your senses, smell has the shortest, most direct path to the deep places where love and memory and belonging live. A familiar scent doesn't just remind you of a person. For a moment, it almost brings them back, warm and near and real. And this is why, all over the world, people hold on to the clothes of those they've been apart from, or those they've lost. It isn't strange, and it isn't sad. Not really. It's the body doing what it was made to do, keeping the people it loves close by any means it can, gathering them near in the dark. If there's someone your heart reaches for tonight, someone far away or long gone, know that some part of you is holding them even now, carrying their nearness the way you carry a scent, quietly, without effort, wherever you go. They're closer than the distance would tell you. Love keeps its own kind of nearness, and it doesn't much care for miles or years. Let me tell you one last gentle thing before we sink a little deeper. And it's about the simple, ancient comfort of counting. There's a reason people have counted their way towards sleep for as long as anyone can remember. Counting sheep, counting breaths, counting slow steps down some imagined stair. It isn't a trick, exactly. It's that a quiet, repeating count gives your busy mind something soft and simple to rest on, something with no edges and no worries in it. Something that leads gently nowhere at all. When the mind has a small, steady thing to follow, one number, and then the next, and then the next, each one a little slower, a little softer. It slowly lets go of the sharper thoughts, the ones that snag and pull. The counting becomes a kind of gentle railing to hold as you make your way down into the dark. You don't have to count anything tonight if you don't want to. But if some restless thought comes looking for you, you might just let a slow, soft number rise up to meet it. 1, and a long breath. 2, and a longer one. Each number a stair beneath your feet, taking you lower and lower and lower still into the deep and easy quiet where sleep is already waiting. There's nothing to reach for now, nothing to hold, only the slow, soft count and the warm dark and the gentle, certain sinking down toward rest. There's a soft truth about the way your body keeps time in the dark, and I think you'll like it. Deep inside you, tucked away where you'll never see it, there's a tiny cluster of cells no bigger than a grain of rice, and its whole quiet job is to keep the rhythm of your days and nights. It's your inner clock, and it's been running faithfully since before you were born. All day it's been reading the light, listening to the hour, nudging you toward wakefulness in the morning and toward rest as the world goes dim. And right now, in this low and gentle dark, it's doing the loveliest part of its work, releasing that soft, drowsy signal that tells every corner of your body the same warm thing. It's time. It's time to let go. You don't have to make yourself sleepy. You couldn't stop it now if you tried. That old, patient clock inside you is turning the wheel. It's turned every night of your life, and all you have to do is let it carry you where it's already going. Let me tell you something tender about the way your mind treats the weight of a whole day once you finally set it down. All through your waking hours, you've been holding things, little decisions, small worries, the 100 tiny questions of an ordinary day. What to say, where to be, what comes next. Your mind is wonderful at carrying all of it, but carrying is tiring, even when you don't notice the weight. And here's the gentle thing that happens now. As you sink towards sleep, your mind quietly begins to set those things down, one by one, the way you'd set down heavy bags just inside the door after a long walk home. It doesn't throw them away. They'll be there in the morning if you truly need them. But for now, for these hours, it lets them rest on the floor beside you, out of your hands, out of your arms. Notice how much lighter you feel already, without those things to hold. Your hands are empty now. There's nothing left to carry into the dark. Only you, and the warmth, and the slow, soft breath moving in and out of you like a tide that asks for nothing. Here's a quiet little wonder about the way your senses fold themselves away as you drift. You might think your body simply shuts its doors all at once when sleep comes, but it's gentler than that and far more graceful. One by one, in their own soft order, your senses begin to let go of the world. Your sight went first, the moment your eyes closed, the busy stream of it settling into a warm and formless dark. Then your body's sense of where it is in space begins to loosen and blur, so the edges of you go soft, and you can't quite feel exactly where your hand ends and the blanket begins. Hearing is the last to stay. It lingers, keeping a sleepy watch. which is why a familiar voice like this one can walk alongside you, right up to the very threshold of sleep. But even hearing softens now, the words growing rounder and further away, less like information and more like the sound of water or wind or someone humming in another room. You don't need to hold on to any of it. Let the meaning go loose. Let the words become weather. Let even this voice become just another gentle sound in the warm dark, carrying you down. Let me share something soft about the way your mind quietly lets go of the need to understand. All day long, your thinking mind works so hard to make sense of things, to follow the thread, to know what's happening, to keep a firm grip on the story of the day. It likes to understand. It likes things to add up. But sleep asks something different of you, something your busy mind isn't used to giving. It asks you to stop understanding and simply be. And this is one of the kindest gifts the night has to offer. For these hours, you don't have to make sense of anything. You don't have to follow the thread. If your thoughts go loose and strange at the edges, if a memory drifts into a feeling, and a feeling drifts into nothing at all, that's not confusion. That's release. That's your mind finally being allowed to stop working, to let the pieces float apart, to rest from the long day's labor of holding everything together. Let it float. Let it drift. There's nothing here you need to figure out. There's nowhere the thread needs to go. There's a gentle thing that happens between a person and the room they sleep in, and I want to tell you about it. Over time, the place where you rest becomes something more than four walls and a bed. Your mind slowly learns it, the particular quality of the dark here, the small familiar sounds, the way the air moves, the shape of the shadows. And bit by bit, without you ever deciding it, this place becomes woven into the feeling of safety itself. It becomes a kind of nest in the oldest sense of the word. A spot your deepest self has marked as a place where nothing is asked of you, where you can lay down every guard you've been holding up all day. You're in that place now. Every quiet signal around you is telling the ancient, watchful part of your mind the same thing. You're safe here. You're home here. You can rest here. There's no need to keep one eye open. No need to stay ready. The room has you. The dark has you. This soft, familiar place is holding you the way it's held you 1,000 nights before. And it will hold you again. Let me tell you something quietly beautiful about the way tenderness moves between people who sleep near one another. When two people share a space through the night, partners, or a parent and a small child, even a person and a beloved animal curled close, something slow and lovely happens between them in the dark. Without either one meaning to, their breathing begins to drift toward each other, and sometimes even the slow rhythm of their rest starts to move in a kind of loose company. It's as if the sleeping body still knows the other is there, still feels the comfort of that nearness, and quietly leans toward it all night long. There's a deep, wordless reassurance in resting beside someone you trust, a sense the body has carried since the very beginning of our kind. From nights spent close together, for warmth and safety, under an open sky. If there's someone breathing softly near you tonight, let yourself feel that ancient comfort. And if you're resting alone, know that you can borrow the same feeling from this voice, from the steady company of these words, from the simple fact that somewhere out there, others are lying just like you, in the dark, letting go, drifting down toward the same soft place. Here's a small and gentle truth about the way your worries change size in the night. You may have noticed that a trouble which felt enormous at 3 in the afternoon can feel strangely smaller and softer by the time you're lying down at the end of the day. That's not your imagination, and it isn't that the trouble changed. It's that your mind, as it winds down, slowly loosens its tight grip on the hard edges of things. During the day, your thoughts run fast and sharp, and a worry can loom up huge and close, filling the whole window of your attention. But as you drift now, that sharpness melts. The worry, if it comes at all, comes softer, further off, less like a wall in front of you, and more like a cloud passing slowly across a distant sky. You can look at it, if you like, without being pulled into it. You can let it drift on by. Whatever felt heavy today will be lighter to hold in the morning, after the night has done its quiet work of smoothing the edges. So set it down. Let the dark do what the dark does best. It has softened harder things than this on thousands of nights, for millions of tired people, all drifting down just like you. Let me tell you something soft about the way stillness is its own kind of doing. We spend so much of our lives being told that rest has to be earned, that stillness is only allowed once everything else is finished. And almost nothing is ever truly finished, is it? There's always one more thing. But here's a gentler truth your body has always known. Rest isn't the absence of doing. Rest is one of the most important things you'll do all day. Right now, lying here, doing what looks like nothing at all, you're actually letting your body carry out some of its most vital and tender work. The mending, the sorting, the quiet restoring that can only happen when you finally hold still. You're not falling behind by resting. You're not wasting a single moment. You're doing exactly the thing you were made to do. The thing every living creature under the stars is doing right now in its own dark corner of the world. So give yourself over to it fully. This stillness is not empty. This stillness is full of quiet, necessary, loving work. And all of it happens on its own, while you simply let go and drift. There's a soft little thing about the way your body relaxes in waves, and I want you to notice it. Letting go isn't one single event, like a switch flipping off. It comes in gentle waves, each one a little deeper than the last. Maybe you felt the first wave a while ago, when your shoulders finally came down from where they'd been quietly holding all day. Then another wave, as your jaw unclenched, as your hands went soft and heavy. And there are more waves still coming, rolling through you slowly, each one carrying a little more of the day's tension out with the tide. You don't have to make them happen. You couldn't rush them if you wanted to. All you have to do is notice. Each time, another wave of softness moves through you, down through your chest, down through your belly, down through your legs, all the way out through the soles of your feet, and gone. Here comes another one now, if you let it. A little deeper, a little heavier, a little further down into the warm and welcoming dark. Let me share something quietly kind about the way your mind measures a good night. When you wake tomorrow, you won't remember most of the night that's coming. You won't remember the long stretches of deep, dreamless rest, or the slow turning of your body, or the hours passing soft and dark and uncounted. And that forgetting is not a loss. It's the very shape of a night well spent, the deepest rest leaves no memory behind, because you were far too gone, far too peacefully gone, to be keeping track of anything at all. So don't worry as you drift about whether you're doing this rightly. Don't listen for the moment sleep arrives, hoping to catch it. You never will, and that's exactly as it should be. Sleep comes for the ones who stop waiting for it, who let the words go loose and the thoughts go soft, and the whole tired weight of themselves sink down without watching for the bottom. You're nearly there now. You've stopped holding on, and the not remembering that's coming for you is the kindest gift the night can give. A clean, deep, dreamless dark, out of which you'll rise in the morning without ever having felt yourself fall. Here's one more gentle thing before we drift a little lower still. In every language ever spoken, in every corner of the world, people have always had soft words for this moment, the moment of letting someone go into sleep. Words that mean rest well, words that mean sleep sweetly, words that mean I'll see you in the morning light. And underneath all those different sounds is the very same wish, the oldest and simplest wish one person can offer another. Be at peace now, be safe now, let the day be done. That wish is being offered to you tonight, through this voice, across whatever distance lies between us. Be at peace now, be safe now, let the day be done. There's nothing more that's needed from you. Not one more thought. Not one more breath you have to remember to take. Your body knows the way from here. It has always known. So let this be the moment you finally, fully let go, and let yourself be carried the rest of the way down into the deep, soft dark, where rest has been waiting for you all along, patient and warm, holding a place just your size. And here's something else worth knowing, softly as you lie there. Your body, right now, is doing something it does better in the dark than at any other time of day. It's letting down its guard. All through your waking hours, some quiet part of you stays on watch, keeping a little tension in reserve, ready to sit up, to answer, to move if you're needed. But here, in the low light, in the stillness, that watchful part finally believes it can rest. Nothing more is being asked of it. And when it lets go, everything downstream of it lets go too. The small muscles around your eyes, the fine ones along your spine, the ones in your hands you never even think about. You don't have to release them one by one. Your body knows the order. It's been practicing this letting go every single night of your life, and it will carry you through it again now, gently, without any help from you at all. Let me tell you something tender about the way your mind holds on to softness once it finds it. When you settle into a feeling of calm, really settle the way you might be settling now, your brain doesn't just experience it and move on. It leaves a kind of groove behind, a well-worn little path, so that the next time you go looking for this same quiet, the way there is shorter. Researchers who study this call it something technical, but the truth of it is simple and kind. Calm is a skill, and you are practicing it right now in this very moment without trying. Every slow breath you take is deepening the groove. Every wave of heaviness that moves through you is teaching your body the way home. So even as you drift off tonight and forget all of this by morning, some part of you will keep it. Some part of you will remember how to find this place again tomorrow, and the night after, a little more easily, each time. You're not just resting, you're learning how to rest, and that learning stays. Here's a gentle thought about the space around you. For most of the long history of our kind, people didn't sleep alone in a quiet room the way many of us do now. They slept close together in small circles near a low fire that someone kept while the others rested. And so your body still carries an old, wordless sense that darkness is safest when it's shared, that rest comes easier when you're not the only one keeping watch. Tonight, in a small and real way, you're not the only one. This voice is here with you, low and steady, the way someone might have murmured near the embers long ago, so the others could let their eyes fall closed. You don't have to keep watch. That job is covered. All the watching, all the listening for the night, someone else is holding it now, and you are free to sink all the way down into the warm dark, the way people have always sunk down when they finally felt safe enough to let go. Let me share something quiet about the number of times your heart has carried you here. From the very first flutter of it, long before you were born, that steady muscle has never once stopped, never once asked for a break, never once needed you to remind it. Right now, as you lie here, it's slowing gently, the way it always does when you're drifting towards sleep, beating a little softer, a little further apart, settling into the low, patient rhythm of rest. You don't have to count the beats. You don't have to do anything at all. But if you'd like, you can simply notice it there, in the middle of your chest, keeping its old faithful time, the way it has through every single night you've ever slept, and every one you've forgotten. It carried you through today. It will carry you through the night, and it will be there, still keeping time, when the morning comes soft and gray at the edges of the window, ready to lift you gently back into the day. Here's a small kindness about the way your mind treats the unfinished. Maybe there's something still hanging loose from today, a conversation you didn't quite finish, a task you meant to get to, a thought you never followed all the way down. And ordinarily, the mind likes to keep such things close, tugging at them, reminding you they're not yet done. But here's the tender part. When you give yourself permission to set something down for the night, to say, quietly, not now, I'll return to this in the morning, your mind, more often than not, believes you. It loosens its grip. It stops tugging. Whatever's unfinished will still be there when you wake, waiting patiently, no worse for the rest. And very often, after a night of sleep, it looks smaller than it did, more manageable, easier to pick back up. So let yourself say it now, softly, to whatever's still lingering. Not now, in the morning. And feel how the saying of it lets a little more weight slide off your shoulders and down into the dark. Let me tell you something soft about the way warmth spreads through you as you fall. You may have noticed that your hands and feet grow warmer as you get sleepy. A gentle, tingling heaviness spreading out toward your fingertips and your toes. That's not your imagination. As your body prepares for sleep, it opens the smallest blood vessels near the surface of your skin, letting warmth flow out toward the edges of you. It's one of the truest signs that sleep is close. That quiet, radiating heat in your hands and feet. And you can lean into it now if you like. Just notice how warm your feet have become down there under the covers, how heavy and warm your hands are wherever they're resting. That warmth is your own body telling you, in its oldest language, that everything is proceeding just as it should. Sleep is coming. The warmth is the proof of it, moving out to the very tips of you, soft and slow. Here's a gentle thing about how little you have to hold on to now. All day, your mind keeps dozens of small threads gathered up in one hand. Where you need to be, what comes next, who's counting on you, what you mustn't forget. It's an enormous, quiet labor, holding all those threads at once, and you do it so constantly you hardly notice the effort. But right now, in the dark, one by one, those threads are slipping loose from your fingers, and nothing bad is happening. Nothing is falling. The threads that matter will still be there in the morning, easy to gather back up. The ones that don't matter, you'll never miss at all. So let them go. Let your hand open in the dark. There's nothing you need to hold right now. Not a single thread. Not a single worry. Not even the shape of your own day. Your only work now is to be held. And the night is doing that already, all around you, on every side. Let me share something tender about the sounds still reaching you. Maybe there's a far-off car, or the settling creak of the building, or the wind against the glass, or simply the deep, textured hush of a quiet house at night. As you sink toward sleep, your mind does a soft and clever thing with all those sounds. It stops sorting them into things that matter and things that don't, and just lets them become part of the landscape of rest. A sound that might have pulled your attention in the bright of day becomes, in the dark, just another gentle thread in the fabric of the night. You don't have to listen to any of it. You don't have to follow a single sound to its source. Let each one arrive and drift right past you, the way you'd let a leaf float by on slow water. Here and then gone. Noticed and then released. Every sound tonight is just another small wave, rolling in and rolling out, carrying you a little further down. Here's something quiet about the way you're breathing right now. You haven't had to think about a single breath this whole time. They've been arriving on their own, slower and deeper the longer you lie here. Each one a little fuller than a breath you take standing up in the middle of a busy day. That's your body settling into the breath of rest, the long, easy rhythm it saves for the times when it feels truly safe. You can simply ride it now. In, without effort. Out, without effort. Each out-breath a little longer than the one before. Each one letting you sink a little deeper into the surface beneath you. There's a whole quiet intelligence running your breath for you tonight, and it's very, very good at its job. You can let it take over completely. Nothing to count, nothing to manage. Just the slow tide of it, in and out, carrying you down. Let me tell you something gentle about the morning that's coming, so you can set it down and stop watching for it. When you wake, and you will wake in your own time softly, the day will be there, whole and ready, exactly as much of it as you need. You don't have to reach for it now. You don't have to plan for it, or rehearse it, or worry the edges of it in the dark. The morning is very good at arriving on its own. It has never once needed your help to come, so you can let go of tomorrow entirely for now. Hand it back to the future, where it belongs, and keep only this one soft moment, this one warm breath, this one quiet layer of the night wrapping gently around you. There is nothing after this moment you need to hold. Just this one. And now just this one. And now this. Here's a last small comfort for this stretch of the night. Everything in you that's been working so hard, the thinking, the planning, the holding, the watching, is being allowed right now to finally rest. Not because you've earned enough rest, or done enough, or finished everything on the list. Simply because it's night, and you're here, and rest is your birthright as surely as breath is. You don't have to deserve this. You don't have to have been productive enough, or good enough, or anything enough. The dark asks nothing of you but that you let it hold you. And it's holding you now, patient and warm and endlessly wide, with no edges you could fall off of, no bottom you could reach too fast. Just softness, going down and down. Let yourself keep sinking into it. There's so much further you can go, and all of it is gentle, and all of it is yours, and all of it is waiting quietly to carry you the rest of the way home. There's one more soft thing I want to leave with you, and it's about the way your mind quietly keeps company with itself in the dark. You might think that when the lights go out and the talking stops, you'd feel more alone. But the truth is, something in you knows how to be its own gentle companion. Long before anyone taught you a single word, you already had a whole inner world humming along, keeping you steady, filling the quiet with a soft, wordless sense of being. That part of you never leaves. It's here right now, underneath the thinking, underneath the tiredness, holding you the way it always has. You are never truly by yourself in here. There's a warmth in you that has kept you company through every night of your whole life, and it's keeping you company now, patient and close, asking nothing at all. Here's something tender about the way your mind treats a promise you've kept to yourself. Every night you come back to rest. Every night you let yourself lie down and be held by the dark. You're quietly telling some deep, listening part of you that it can trust you, that you'll show up, that you'll let it rest. And over time, that trust settles into your body like water finding its level. Your shoulders learn to drop a little sooner. Your breath learns to slow a little faster. Your whole system learns that when the day is done, there's a soft place waiting, and you always bring yourself back to it. You've kept that promise again tonight. You came back, and your body knows it, and it's letting go all the more easily because of it. Let me tell you something quietly beautiful about the way your thoughts begin to loosen right about now. Earlier in the day, your mind holds everything in tidy lines. This, then that, then the next thing, all in order, all making sense. But as you sink towards sleep, those lines start to soften and curl at the edges. One thought drifts sideways into another. A word turns into a picture. A picture melts into a feeling with no name. And that's not your mind failing. That's your mind doing exactly what it's built to do at this hour. It's letting go of the need for everything to line up. It's setting down the effort of making sense. You don't have to hold the thread of anything anymore tonight. You can let your thoughts wander off in whatever strange, gentle directions they please, and know that each one drifting loose is another small sign that you're nearly there. And here's a soft little truth about how these quiet nights add up. If you drift off before I finish, and honestly, that's the whole hope, the next of these gentle journeys will begin on its own, quietly, without you having to reach for anything or lift a hand. It's already waiting there in the dark, ready to keep the low murmur of a voice going for you, so the silence never has to arrive with a jolt. You don't have to do a thing. Just let one carry you into the next, the way one wave rolls easily into the one behind it. That's all set up for you now. So you can let this be the last small thing you decide tonight, which is to decide nothing at all and simply let yourself be carried. Let me share something tender about the way kindness quietly finds its way back to you. All through your life, in ways you'll never fully see, the gentle things you've done for other people have gone on rippling outward long after you forgot them. A patient word. A moment where you chose softness when you could have chosen sharpness. A time you let something go instead of holding it tight. Those small mercies didn't just land on someone else. They wound their way back into you too, laying down a quiet certainty deep in your bones that the world can be gentle because you have been gentle in it. You're lying here tonight inside a life that has held real tenderness. Some of it you gave, some of it you received, and all of it is here with you now, folded into the warmth around you. One more soft layer settling over you as you sink. Here's a small warm thing about the way your mind will tend to you, even after you've slipped under. When sleep finally takes you the rest of the way, some quiet part of you keeps watch. Not the anxious kind of watching, but the soft kind. The kind a parent keeps over a sleeping child from the next room. It knows the sounds of your own safe place. It knows the weight of your own covers, the shape of your own dark. And because it knows all of that is just as it should be, it lets the rest of you go all the way down without a single worry. You are held from the inside tonight, as surely as the dark is holding you from the outside. Both of them keeping you. Both of them asking nothing. Let me tell you one last gentle thing about the way your body knows how to come home to itself. There's no effort left in this for you now. You don't have to guide your breath. It's found its own slow river, and it's following it down. You don't have to soften your body. It's already gone heavy and warm and easy against the surface beneath you. You don't have to quiet your thoughts. They're already going soft and shapeless and far away. Everything that needed doing tonight has been done, or has been set down, or has been handed gently back to the morning where it belongs. There is nothing left on the list. There is nothing left to hold. There is only this warm, dim, endless softness, folding around you like the oldest comfort there is, carrying you further with every breath, and asking only that you let it. And if these quiet nights have become a small kindness in your life, if you found yourself coming back to them, letting them carry you down again and again, then somewhere in the daylight, whenever it's easy, you might let that little voice know by following along, so it can keep finding its way to you in the dark. But that's a thought for the morning, if it comes at all. Not for now. Now there is nothing to reach for, and nothing to press, and nothing to decide. Now there is only the sinking, and the warmth, and the soft weight of a whole day, finally, fully set down. So let yourself go the rest of the way. You've done enough. You've been enough. The day is behind you, whole and finished, and it asks nothing more of you. The night is around you, wide and warm and kind, with no edges and no bottom, only softness going down and down. Let it have you now. Let every last thread of holding slip loose from your fingers. Let the quiet close gently over you, like still water over a stone that's finally come to rest. There's nowhere else to be. There's nothing else to do. There's only this last soft breath, and the one after it, growing slower, growing further apart, each one carrying you a little deeper into the dark that has been waiting all along to hold you. Rest now. You're safe. You're warm. You're carried. And all of it, the quiet, the softness, the whole gentle weight of the night, is yours, and it will still be here, holding you, long after you've stopped listening. Sleep well. Good night.